It is February 7th, 2018, and I'm outside of the gym, already here. It's just a little before 9 o'clock. Today is Wednesday. I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do today. I'm thinking that I'm gonna warm up with some hamstring work, just to get the hamstrings warm. I might do some heavy deadlifts, and then after that, I don't know, maybe some CrossFit style stuff, maybe play around with the sled, the ropes. I don't know, not sure, but it's gonna be a good workout, good day. So let's get inside. I didn't film yesterday, I just needed a break, but we're back today, so let's get after it. Hopefully you can hear me. I know it's super loud over here, but finished up warming up the hamstrings. So now we're gonna get into some deadlifts. I'm feeling pretty good. Excited to see what we can push today. Wrapped up those deadlifts. I haven't really done a whole lot of sumo in a long time. I used to always do conventional, so just even that's different. But you know, probably felt good to get under 315 again. But you know, it's probably too early to really be pushing that weight. But I just wanted to get under it again, feel the way it was. It didn't feel too bad. Clearly, my grip was the biggest issue, so I definitely need to work on that. But now that I did those, I think I'm just gonna play around a little bit on the sled and just work on little cardio endurance type strength stuff. So here we go. That was fun. Enjoyed doing that. And now I'm just gonna work on some more, just whatever I'm feeling today. Nothing big, nothing crazy, you know, bodybuilding routine, just fun stuff. Remember what I told you last time. Keep it fun. Keep yourself motivated. Keep yourself encouraged to get in here. Don't just do boring stuff. Mix it up. Have a good time. All right, let's see if I can really climb the rope today. Not the best. Who knows what these are called? Are these your favorite? I know there's somebody's favorite out there. Not mine. that's gonna wrap up today's workout. It was good. I got a lot of stretching in on my shoulder, my chest is starting to feel a lot better. Just had some fun. Rope, some other things, burpees. Burpees are always fun, right? Did you know that's what they were called? The other day we tried something, you know, the workout's over with. I don't want to mess with traffic. I don't want to mess with driving. I don't want to mess with any of that stuff. I just want to be home, back, so I can get some food, eat, and get with the rest of the day. So, what is that? Can you see something right there? Right here in this spot. Do you see it? Look really close. Look. Look. Do you see it? Closer. Like, look. Do you see that opening up? Right. Whoa. Whoa. We ended up back home in the kitchen. That was much easier than driving. No traffic to worry about. It was quick. That's the way to travel. Well, now I'm going to put the battery on there to charge. I'm gonna make some food. I got some other work that I need to do, and so I will bring you back when the food is made, show you what I'm having, talk to you about what I'm gonna be doing today and the next step of screen printing process, so that I can show you where we go from yesterday when we cleaned the screens and prep them. Now we got to coat them today, so I'm going to show you that in a little bit. Breakfast is served. This is about 4 slices of bacon, about 100 grams of grass-fed steak, spinach, 2 eggs, some sprinkling of sunflower seeds, some butter, and some guacamole. That is the meal. I am hungry. I am going to eat and then gotta get to work. I'll bring you with me to show you what we gotta do today and where that lies in the screen printing process. So I just got finished ordering my customer's inventory for the job that I'm gonna be printing here. But now it's time to take you in and show you the next step of screen printing. So the screens that we reclaimed yesterday and cleaned, restored, now it's time to coat those with new emulsion to get them ready for the next design. So I'm gonna show you how we do that now. So what am I doing in the dark room and what is this next step? So we have our screens here that we cleaned out yesterday. We removed the old design. We cleaned them, we let them dry overnight so they are ready to go. So this is what I use. There's all kinds of brands out there. I've tried many different ones, but I just find this one to be the easiest to work with. It's by a company called Yelano, and it's just called Orange Ultra Fast Textile Emulsion. So we got our scoop coater. Now I'm gonna open up my emulsion. Don't need a whole lot, but we're just gonna pour this into the little tray like that. Inside, like, okay, so that's the squeegee side and the ink side. That's where you're gonna put the ink. And this is the outside that's gonna be touching the shirt. And so you start off with this side. As we take the edge, and again, we're using the thin edge. So we take the thin edge and we're gonna press it up against the screen and we're gonna tilt it forward so that the emulsion runs out and touches the screen and begins to get on it. Then with it pressed, I'm just going to pull up like that. When I get to the top, I tilt it back a little bit so that it runs back in, and then I just kind of finish it off. And there's one side coated. So then what we do is we flip it over. Now that we have the inside, so you always want to finish with the inside so that the emulsion gets pushed back out to the other side, because this is, again, your ink side and you want this to stay flat. So again, you take the coater, you put it in, you tilt it forward, let the emulsion run, and then once it's begun to come, then you just drag it up all the way to the top. When you get to the top, you rotate it back and you pull it off. There you go. There is a coated screen. Once it dries, it's gonna allow me to put a new design on it, and I'll show that process. But here's the other thing you have to do. So this has to dry. So this is my drying rack. So you can see, so just as we did this side last, so that it's all on this side, we want to dry it that way too. So when we put our screen into the drying rack, like this, we want it facing down so that the inside part where the ink is gonna go is on top, so that all that emulsion will sink to the other side as it dries. But now they need to dry, so I'm gonna let these dry, and I'm gonna get back to some editing because I need to do some editing and get the next video ready. If you can see behind me, I'm currently importing the video footage for the next episode. And these are bigger files, so it's taking a lot longer to import the footage. So I figured, instead of just sitting here wasting time, I will take you to one of the next steps that we have to do in the printing process while we're waiting for our screens to dry. Is we need to get our artwork, we need to get it printed onto our films or our transparencies. My program of choice for doing this is Adobe Illustrator. It's just the one that I learned first, so it's what I use. It's pretty simple for me at this point. And I mean, there's all kinds of other programs. You can use Corel Draw, you can use Photoshop, you can use InDesign. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff you can use. So as I said, Illustrator is what I use. It's just the program I've learned. So this is what I do. You don't need this big of them, but I'm just using it. So I add these marks that are my center marks. It's only a one color, so it's super simple. So there's no reason for me to add anything else. AccuRip with my Epson 1430 printer. So I select that. Okay, that's good. 13 by 12. So there's my custom settings. There it is. We got AccuRip Epson 1430. Now we are good. I have all my cartridges replaced. So when I turn it on, I'll show you. Then I open this up. It looks like I have regular ink in there, but these are all special cartridges that are all filled with black ink. So one side is really smooth, like just completely smooth, like plastic, and the other side has a slightly, just a little bit of a texture to it. If you're not sure which side has a texture, you can lick your finger and you'll see a little mark show up, or it'll stick a little bit. So, but I know, because I've done this long enough, I know what side it is. That's always the side you want your ink printed on, because that's the waterproof side. That's the side that the ink will actually stick to and it won't come off. The software that it uses has to connect to some server. Right now it's not connecting. The only way that I know to get it connected is to restart the computer. Alright, I will come back once things have restarted. It never fails, does it? Whenever you are trying to do something, you're trying to work on something and you have to do a restart for your computer, what always happens, well, you're not gonna be able to see now because it's hidden, but it started installing updates. Always updates when you're trying to restart to get back to something you're working on. Oh well, it'll be done soon. If I hadn't cut my hair right now, I'd probably be pulling it out. Maybe I'll pull out my beard hair. Does that work the same? Like if I'm like this, and I'm like, can I do this? My computers are apparently in a competition to see which one can annoy me the most today. The Mac is taking forever to import this footage. If I had the Jeopardy music right now and I wouldn't get sued for playing it, I'd play that in the background. Maybe I can make the sound. Let's see. How's it go? Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Now it's time for Alex Trebek to come on and give the answer to Final Jeopardy. Right now, I'm just waiting for my computers to do what they're supposed to do. All right, good news. As you might have heard, software is running. Got it back up and running, so we now should have our film being printed. Alright, now what I like to do is then hold it up to light. Make sure it's thick. Make sure there's no light shining through it. And that means it's good. Screens are dry, so there they are. As you can see, now we need to do the next phase, which is taking our film that we printed and transferring the image onto those screens. That's what I'm doing. So again, I'm taking the tape, placing it on the back so the sticky side is facing up. Then I'm gonna position the design where I want it. I think right around here should give me enough space for my ink. I'm gonna take my screen. For this one, I'm gonna use a 110 because there's no real small parts to the design. Then I'm gonna take my screen, I'm gonna line it up on my board with my marks. Then I'm gonna just drop it down on there. I can tell I want a little more space than that. Alright, so then I line it up, position it where it needs to go, let it come down so that the tape attaches it to the screen. Press it down, it's gonna stay. Then when I flip it, I'm even gonna grab it real quick. There we go. All right, now just gonna finish taping it off on the sides like that, just to make sure that it stays. All right, screen is ready. All right, so here is our screen. I've removed the image off of it. Again, as you can see, we're doing this in a dark room, light sensitive. I found out that my pressure washer was leaking, so my carpet is soaked, but whatever. So I'm gonna put the screen in there like that. I'm gonna take my pressure washer, make sure it's on. I'm gonna spray one side, get it wet, flip it over, spray the other side. Got some water on it, so now I can wash out the area where we had our design. See through it now, and then all the rest of the area still has the emulsion in it. So that means that we can run our ink through that. And if I flip it over to the right side, you can see that it reads properly, it faces the right direction, and it's completely clear. So that's what you want. And a tip is whenever you're washing out your screens, you never want to wash out from this side, the ink side, because all the emulsion is going the other direction. It's easier to wash out emulsion that you don't want. So you always want to flip it around to this side and wash out, because it'll ensure that you don't ruin your screen or your design by washing out parts that you don't want washed out. But I'll hold this up and hopefully you'll get some better light. But if you can see it, what we do after that, take a little bit of newspaper and just place it on top and just use that to dry up the screen. What you're trying to do is any of that emulsion that got liquefied, you don't want it to end up back in your image. So you want to dry up as much of that as possible so it doesn't clog your image. So once you've done that, there you go. Screen is done. There you go. See that? There's our image in the screen. And as you can see, wherever the black was of the ink on that film, it didn't harden. The emulsion didn't harden, so it all washed out. Everywhere else around that image that got exposed to the light stayed hardened and didn't wash out. So there you go. That's how you do it. That's how you transfer your design onto your screen. Then you just put them in your rack. So they can dry. And then once they're dry, you can use them to print ink through. Okay, so I'm sorry that it wasn't very easy to see in there, but that was the next step. Hopefully you were able to tell what I was doing, and I will maybe try to film that again when it's in the daylight and it's easier to see. Well, it is after 10 o'clock. That's the last thing I'm really gonna do today. So I'm gonna wrap up the vlog here. It's to be continued in the next episode. You'll see the rest of the printing process. I think I have enough for today. So I just want to thank you for watching the video. I ask that you please give the video a thumbs up, a like, comment on it, share. If you have any questions about the screen printing process, if there's anything that I can, help you with, whatever it may be. But I hope in some way that this video and this channel has motivated you, inspired you, encouraged you to go further than you thought was possible, and to live a life that outlasts you, that impacts generations to come, because that is the Eternal Crown lifestyle. So I thank you again for watching, and have a great day, night, or evening. I will see you again soon. I can't make this stuff up. Not wanting to be outdone by the PC, my Mac is now installing updates after a restart. Oh boy, technology, what can you do?